Warrior, welcome today. This is a very special day here at the Warriors because I want to welcome back Susie Vybiral. Now, let me tell you about this warrior woman. And that's what I call you, Susie, a warrior woman. She's the founder and CEO of Room Redux, a national and international nonprofit organization. And she transforms, now listen to this, she transforms the rooms and lives of children who have faced physical and or sexual abuse with her team at Room Redux. The room transformations give children a fresh start while changing the whole path of their lives and breaking cycles of abuse. Susie has been, so many credits, has been a contributing writer for many publications, guest speaker at the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, Child Protective Service organizations, the FBI, law enforcement, task force conferences. She has been all over the United States. And now we have her right here back on the Warrior. She's also, and we're going to get into this, a 2022 L'Oreal Woman of Worth. Hooray. I love that because we know she's worth it. And our organization, Room Redux, is definitely worth it. The mission is healing and transformation. So please follow Susie and Room Redux. Let's give out the website. I think is a great place for everybody to get all their information. One-stop shopping, I like to say, roomredux.org. I will have all of the information, Susie, in the body of this video so people can take their time, sign on, read all about you. Welcome, Susie Vybiral, back to the Warriors. It has been a minute, Warrior Woman. How are you?
I am terrific, and I'm so excited to be here. Thank you. It's been 2 years.
You know, I went back and looked, and it was like 2022 after the L'Oreal Women of Worth. I'm like, wow. But okay, I got you now, and I'm not letting go of you. So I know you'll be back. It won't be another 2 years.
No.
I have so many questions for you. Let's jump right in. What do you think about, start with whatever you want to tell us. It could be about your background. It could be about what you're doing today. Just a little something about Susie to whet our appetite before we jump into everything.
Sounds good. Well, I have a background in psychology. I have my bachelor's, my master's. I'm working on my doctorate still. For anybody who's watching this, yes, still. I'm this close to being Dr. Suze. Not too far.
Dr. Susie.
I'm a doctoral candidate. And part of my research, part of the reason that I do love getting this doctorate is because there's no research out there regarding environment change for children who have been abused.
Shocking.
Nothing. Yes.
Shocking.
It's kind of revolutionary. Just like Room Redux, there's no organization that does what we do. So it's important for people to realize that the brain changes when children have been abused. They become rewired, or they can. The amygdala, the prefrontal cortex, I won't completely geek out, but it just rewires them, the way they react, their emotions, the way they handle things. And so I really, truly feel that Room Redux and our room transformations are helping change the trajectory of these children's lives. When it's coupled with counseling, which is a crucial part of that healing puzzle, they're given a fresh start. I went totally off on Room Redux instead of myself, but
no, but there's so much wealth of information, you know, it's like so meaty, Susie, all you do. It is, my next question was about what's going on with the doctorate, but you answered that for us. But also it is so important for, I know you're in Texas, correct? You're in Texas.
Yes.
I'm in New York City, and people really find it shocking when we give out basic facts about, you know, kids and their brains or their trauma or their feelings. And it's a lifelong thing, this trauma. So I can't commend you enough for going after this doctorate. And also, I was looking at some of your things online, and you did something, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it was, I like visuals because this makes people understand. It was like, I saw you do something like 1, 2, 3, 4 her or something like that, or 1, 2, 3 her, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 him.
Yes.
Tell us what that is and pointing out about kids and abuse.
The stats are 1 in 4 girls, 1 in 6 boys will be sexually abused before the age of 18.
Horrible.
That's just what we know. That's only what's reported. 1 in 3 children never disclose. Some wait till they're adults. So that's what we know. So when I do that visual, I try not to point at certain people because I don't know their history, but I'll point in the crowd, or I'll say, look outside, or in the restaurant, or wherever it is. 1, 2, 3 her. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 him. Those are the stats. That's what we know.
It's shocking. I mean, it's beyond shocking. And as you pointed out, that's what we know about. So we know it's higher which is even more shocking. And this is why everybody has to become a warrior, and has to learn to be on the lookout for all kids. I want to Room Redux. Prior to starting the video here, we started talking about, therapy and art and music as therapy. I can't think of anything better than a child having that safe space, to put their head on a pillow, or having, as I've seen in some of your videos, their favorite color, their themes, just safe. Because when I work with survivors here in New York, their first thing is safe. They want a safe space. They tell me this repeatedly. So I want to know what the Room Redux, it's shocking to me, but I think it's so groundbreaking because you're starting all of this and you're doing studies that nobody else is doing. So hooray, that's what makes you a warrior. How did you really get this idea for Room Redux? I know you were working, around children and sort of came to you, but it's such a brilliant, I almost want to say simple, but I don't want to simplify what you do, but like such a brilliant thing just to make them feel safe and wrap arms around them. Tell us about that.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And it really kind of is a simple type of thing, change their environment. But when these parents and caregivers are in it and they are overwhelmed, their lives are somewhat destroyed and they're trying to pick up the pieces. They don't think to change their environment. So that's where we come in. But yes, I was a family advocate at a children's advocacy center. And so every day I heard the terrible stories of what's going on with our children. And then I would hear from the parents or caregivers that she's not sleeping in her room. He's in counseling, but he's still cutting. Horrible things like that. And so I thought, well, my goodness, we need to change that environment. These children are going back to a room where abuse occurred, or there are triggers. But like I always say, even if it didn't happen in that room, they still deserve to know that they're loved and cared about by people who don't even know them and who expect nothing from them, because we never see the children. We split before they get home, which is awesome. But with your talking about art and music and things like that, art therapy is my jam. Love Natalie Rodman, person-centered, all of that. When we do our assessment, we do find out what colors does she love? What colors does she hate? What does he want to be when he grows up? What are they into? What would they like in the room? And so part of it is we put therapeutic tools in each child's room. So we speak to the counselor and we find out, what are you using in counseling? What do you think he or she would like in their room? So we have put tons of art supplies for children because many times when they have faced abuse, that's their outlet. That's how they creatively express themselves, is through their art. And fun fact, I found that after room transformations, we always get feedback from the parents or the caregivers months later, sometimes 6 months later, sometimes a year later, I find out the art has changed. So instead of stitches on the mouth or zipper or blood coming from the eyes, it's not always all sunshine and rainbows, but it evolves. It becomes a little less dark, which I think is fascinating.
Well, that just proves that their outlook, their thinking is changing. As you're telling me all this needs to be a program on like HGTV. No, I'm not kidding. Like, I don't know if you've ever gone in that direction or pitched it or approached it, or anybody's approached you, but it's not just, fixing something up. I think in 2024, Susie, we really have to make everything count. Everything has to really mean something. We live in a different country, different world these days. At least this is the way I look at it. What's going on there? I'm just throwing this out because I just thought of it, but this needs to be a TV show on there, or a streaming show, whatever they're calling it these days. Anything?
We should be best friends because our line of thinking is identical. When I first met our board president, Shane McGuire, he said, he's from New Zealand. He lives in LA. And when I told him about Room Redux, he said, it's a no-brainer. And then he said, this should be a show. And I said, I know. I've always known it should be a show. So he and I started working on a sizzle reel, a trailer. We've had a few different producers, but right now we've got two fantastic producers, Dan Bernard and Jack Sacco. And they have put together the sizzle reel, the trailer, a pitch deck. And as we speak, they are pitching to, I believe it's Discovery Channel.
I didn't know any of that, but just as you were talking, I was like, no, this has to be a show. It just popped into my head.
Yes. And it's going to be fantastic. I just know it is because everybody loves before and afters, but to give a snippet of what's going on with children, just a snippet, it doesn't have to be dour and a very sad program, but the before and then the during, community coming together and transforming a child's room, volunteering, and then the after. And while you'll never see the child's face, we're very confidential with that in that respect. We will have some type of reveal where whether you hear the child or maybe it's child actors, we'll figure that out. But I think it would be really cool at the end of the show and the credits to have hotlines. So here's a hotline number to call if you suspect abuse. If you see something, say something, to give people that outlet, or that avenue to report. So yeah,
I mean, I'm so excited about that. And also a lot of people, as you know, Susie, they don't even identify like about the abuse, or they don't know, even the parent, like this is even how am I explaining? I'm not explaining this the right way. You know what I'm saying though? They're embarrassed. They don't want to talk about it. They don't, but we know 1 in 4 girls, 1 in 6 boys, like we have to, as a society, address this.
Yes.
And we have to give people always takeaways, I say, like always tools as a follow-up. Mm-hmm. And how do we make this horrible subject dark, ugly? How do we make it real for the public so they'll listen? I'm always like challenging myself, opening it up to make it for them, what what I know, what other great people know. It's like, it's too much for them, sort of. So we have to, take these baby steps. Yet at the same time, I think we also have to be shocking in today's society because of the escalation, because of the internet, right? The AI, the artificial intelligence, AGI, I should say, generative intelligence, that scares me more than anything that we're not talking enough about. I know you're all over the place now. Room Redux, redux.org. We're going to have that again. Everything will be in the body of the video. What cities are you in now? Because I saw a list and I'm like, wow, this Room Redux is like marching across the entire United States, building chapters all over. And I think I heard going international, like the UK. Tell us a little bit more about that.
So my intention, my goal, what will happen is we will have a chapter in every city, every state, every country, because the statistics are everywhere. It's not just Texas or New York. It's not just America. It's all over. This is happening with children. So currently we have, let's see, I believe I counted 10 chapters right now. So it's all volunteer based too, by the way. Nobody gets paid. The executive directors don't get paid. It's all volunteers. So sometimes they come and go. People have full-time jobs and maybe they find it's a little harder than they expected. But currently we have 10 chapters and we're working on filing in other countries. Our focus right now is the Philippines. We have an executive director there who is really gung-ho about starting a chapter because it's bad in the Philippines. The reports are really bad. But yeah, we have chapters in Texas, California, Colorado, Ohio, Georgia, Nevada, working all over.
We got to get you over here to the East Coast. We got to start building out this whole New York, New Jersey, Connecticut.
We have New Hampshire. New Hampshire is just starting.
Okay, that's perfect. I like that. Yes. So good. I know you. I'm volunteer based too. And we know with volunteers, it's a tough thing to get people. They are busy. They are overwhelmed. People need to go out and make money. So you're hearing it right here. Volunteers, again, it'll be in the body of the video. Warriors, you can sign up. You can find out how to volunteer, build a chapter, contact Susie. Of course, money. I'm not, it's a little crass. Maybe not, Susie. Money's always good. There's always goods to be that are needed for these beautiful rooms we're seeing. Let me ask you about you. Now, last time we spoke, and I cannot believe, Susie, shame on me as a warrior, about 2 years ago, 2022, Woman of Worth. You were given that esteemed title. Tell us about that experience and fast forward or just forward. What's come of that? Just tell us about the whole thing.
That was an amazing experience. I was one of 10 Women of Worth honorees. And if you don't know about the program, the L'Oreal Paris Women of Worth program, they honor female nonprofit leaders. Yes. So women who have started their own nonprofits and who are succeeding. So I was one of 10, and I had 9 wonderful L'Oreal Paris Women of Worth sisters, essentially from all over the country. And they flew us to LA in August 2 years ago, and we got to see each other and just really get to know one another and do interviews and things like that. And then a few months later, I think that's when I was on your show, I felt like a politician. Please vote for me every single day.
I was.
No.
I was going on every day. I think you could do that. And I'm not
Yes.
ashamed to say that, Susie, because when I was introduced to you from, I think it was our mutual friend, Dr. Fran Bonaneri. I
Yes.
think Dr. Fran, yes, Nurses United Against Human Trafficking. She said, you've got to meet Susie. You got to interview Susie. You got to know about Susie. And I'm like, all right, Susie, who's this Susie? Let me meet this Susie. And then I fell in love. And then I was voting. You could vote every day. So I was voting every day for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Of course.
And I love Fran. She's one of my best friends. So she's such a great cheerleader. I love her. But yeah, it was crazy because I was asking everyone to vote for me every day. I would get in an airplane to go to a conference and ask them, the whole crew, hey, would y'all vote for me? Can you announce vote for Susie? It was crazy.
You have to. This is the world we live in. We got to take it and we got to run with it and we got to do our own thing.
Yep, because we all received a grant for our nonprofits, but then the national honoree would receive an additional $25,000. And we're kind of young, we're new, we are in dire need of funding like that. And so in Hollywood on December 1st, it was announced that I was the national honoree. Super exciting. In front of Dame Helen Mirren and Camila Cabello. I got to hobnob with them. And
wow.
But I will tell you, that was fantastic. Red carpet, the whole 9 yards. But the very next week, I was at an ICAC conference, Internet Crimes Against Children conference in Florida, meeting superheroes who rescue children and protect children. And I was a million times more starstruck that week than I was in Hollywood.
I'm glad you said that because,
yes.
Well, I'll just leave that because, coming out of college, I was in the music business. I used to write jingles and film scores and did work in Hollywood and for Broadway behind the scenes. And it seems, and it's great for promotion and all that, but you pointed out the real heroes are those ones out educating. You're in this list, of course, on the top, law enforcement, looking for these children, names we never heard of. Kind of thing. They don't want the glory. They're not. So the Hollywood is great, but I'm glad you said that. The real heroes are like usually people we never really, or the public would not really know about, kind of thing. So let me ask you something. Did you get product?
Oh, yes. Lots of products. And every time we have an event, so we have 2 fundraising events per year for Room Redux. We have Boots and Bubbles, which is family friendly.
I saw some pictures. I don't know when, but whenever you did it last time. Yeah. Boots and Bubbles.
So much fun. And then we have our annual gala, which is in the fall. This year it's November 16th. You're invited. Everyone's invited.
I should really try to come. Okay.
Oh my gosh. It's so much fun. When we started it, I wanted our galas to be very fun and not stuffy. And so it's called A Night of Whimsy. And each year is a different theme. And this year the theme is Phoenix, rising from the ashes.
Wow.
Which is really cool. Yeah, think fire. So when I asked L'Oreal Paris, hey, can I have some products for our guests? They send them to me.
I love that because everybody likes swag, right?
Exactly.
Now, let me ask you something because, and I'm very serious about this. What do you want to reveal about your own self-care? Because I think it's very important, we're around this. For instance, we do a lot of work you'll never see online, survivors, safe houses. Well, it's very frustrating. For me, it empowers me. I don't know why. I'm able to work harder. How do you take care of yourself? The self-care, or are you just like me? You're just a warrior. You just keep full steam ahead.
Well, fun fact, my given name is Kelly Suzanne. I've always been called Susie or Suzanne, never Kelly, but Kelly means warrior.
I don't think I knew that. I don't think I knew that. Wow.
So, and then Suzanne.
I knew we were related somehow. I knew it.
I knew it. And then Suzanne is Lily of the Valley. So it's kind of, they're totally against one another. They're totally different.
Interesting though, right?
Interesting.
Fighting
yes.
Good, evil. Perhaps we could write a whole script about this one. Wow.
So the warrior part of me is relentless. And I'll wake up at 3 a.m. and thinking of things, and we need to do this, and we can do this, and nonstop pretty much. When people say, so when I start this chapter, do I advertise? Do I go on social media? Do I get referrals? Do I get money? And I just say, yes, you do all of those things. You do
And
all of
more.
those things and more.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm very often telling people to take care of themselves while neglecting myself. My main outlet is I run or work
Good.
out
That's
when
therapy. Running, exercise, therapy.
when I can fit it in, and bubble baths. I love bubble baths.
Really?
It's
Okay,
it's
now
the only time I let my phone die.
good
What?
for you. Soak in a hot tub with some bubbles
Yes.
and just let it Calgon take me away. I'm dating myself, Susie, but do you know what I mean by that? Because you're a lot younger than I am, but
Hey,
Calgon take me away.
my birthday was July 11th, 7/11, and I turned double nickel. I'm 55, so
You're
I'm no
double nickel?
stranger. I am.
Okay, well, you're gorgeous, and I
Thank you.
think
Hear you.
you're no, it's infectious, and thank you for even saying, because you know what? I'm a proud woman at almost 64 years old, and I'm proud to say my age.
Look
I
64.
I wouldn't turn it in for anything, Susie. Like, I feel smarter than ever. Like, I know who's going to stop me at this age. Like, that kind of
Exactly.
attitude, because I believe that kind of positive attitude really gets you over that hurdle to just like steam ahead. So that's
Mhm.
my whole take is I'm on the back nine, just boom kind of thing. Um, well, it is what it is. What do you see for Room Redux? I mean, obviously growth, getting more people involved. We talked about a TV show. What's your wish list right now? Like, what do you want to say to the public? What do you need?
So each room transformation is approximately $2,500 now that everything is so expensive. And what you see behind me is Belle of the Ball. We name every room transformation. And these rooms take a lot because we do a lot. We paint, we put down new flooring sometimes, light fixtures, all decor, bedding, furniture, all the things. And so it adds up quickly. Hangers, hampers, all the things. And so each chapter really needs that help. So if there's a chapter near you, or if there's a chapter or a city that appeals to you, or if you want to donate to headquarters and we can disperse it that way, that's awesome. But we're always looking for donors, sponsors, grants, recurring donors to sustain us, because as headquarters in Texas, we do have overhead, we have insurance, all those kind of things. So that's what we're always looking for. And then, of course, like you had mentioned before, volunteers to help us carry out these room transformations. My goodness, 2 months ago, we were talking about collaboration earlier. I love collaboration. I think it's
Me
wonderful.
too.
I love our mission, and then I love collaboration because we can all help one another to help these children and people out there. So we partnered with an organization in San Antonio, Roy Moss, and they help foster children and aged out foster children. So we don't transform the rooms of children who are in foster care because it's often temporary, transient. But we were able to help aged out foster adults. They were 18 to 24. So 2 months ago, in one day, by the way, we transformed 48 rooms. It was 8 apartments.
How do you do that?
It was 16 bedrooms, 16 bathrooms, 8 living rooms, and 8 kitchens. We had a lot of volunteers, and we didn't have to paint, thank goodness, or move furniture up there. It was the decor and bedding and all that kind of stuff. But it was just a neat deal. It was a neat way to be collaborative and help in a different way. I don't know if I answered your question.
Well, I don't know, but you always answer, and then my mind goes in a whole different direction. Like, I have another question for you. I think I keep getting back to it's so to have a safe space, colorful, nice, representing the child, the teens, feelings, giving them the artwork to express their feelings. Like, we need this. We need this in every, I'm telling you, I got to win that lottery. We need this like in all of our youth homes, all of our safe houses. We need it in all of this, Susie. It's so needed. And this is where I go. And of course, I'm digressing a little bit now. We do a lot of policy work. I don't know if you do any of that at Room Redux, if you get involved in any of that stuff.
We
And
haven't.
and this, you have a proven product. You know what I'm saying? Because the children are uplifted, or even the pictures 6 months later are not, horrible. They're better. And
Yep.
we know therapy with art, the music, dance. We're also working on a tech program we have going on. Yes, we started in Detroit last summer. We'll be rolling it out more next month, because not all kids in high school are really meant for college. We know this. We need engineering, right? We need HVAC people. We need plumbers, right? Kids can
Right.
make a lot of money at that stuff, right? And so this is where I get a little frustrated. Like we have all this proven, and yet we need financing for it. We need these to be the programs that have the impact. I keep using that word because it's in my brain. Enough of the negative that we hear. We know all of this stuff is bad, right? We need impact. We need take actions. We need resources to change and intervene, right? And educate. So I just think what you are doing is like a gift from God. And we're going to do everything in our power to share the information, keep on it in a better fashion, keep up with you and help you, with these donations and partnerships and things like that. What do you want the public to know? Because I really want to drive it home a little bit about the landscape. We touched upon it earlier, but the landscape in this country, because everything is only escalating. And here's what I'm afraid of, Susie. There's so much distraction these days.
Oh, yeah.
It's division, right? All of the kind of work we do has to really be done. Our hashtag is community creates change at that grassroots community level, because everybody else is spread all out doing everything else or complaining about everything else, or just, Americans are just so busy trying to keep a roof over their heads, buy food, put gas in the car. So what do you want, everybody? Give us your empowerment words, because you're truly making a difference. And this is such wonderful work, and I'm so happy to share it. I want everybody to know there's a place for them. The smallest thing can help Room Redux, right? And I love that you're about collaboration. So just expand a little bit about that before I let you go, because I'm just so honored that I got to meet you and I know you, and we need to expand this program.
Me too. My new BFF.
Yeah.
Well,
don't tell Dr. Fran.
Fran's in the circle.
Yes, she is, definitely.
I always say our hashtag, I love your hashtag. Our hashtag is We Are Room Redux. So when you leave here, you're not going to say, wow, my friend Susie transforms the rooms of children, or wow, Room Redux, they do that, they do this. You're going to say, we transform the rooms and lives of children who face sexual and physical abuse. Because like we said, it takes everyone helping. I always say compassion plus action equals results. We have to actually be doing something. We can talk awareness all day long, but if we're not actually doing something, then we're getting nowhere. We're not helping children, helping people at all. So if you have donated time, money, furniture, if you have volunteered, if you have spread the word on social media, if you've done this, like this, then you are Room Redux. And so I invite everyone to be Room Redux. It's easy. If you can't be at a room transformation, if you can't donate or sponsor, spread the word, share on social media, follow us on all the socials. And that's going to help us in a huge way. That will help us help children.
Yeah. And just even if, again, because we know everybody's so burdened today financially and things like that, $1 helps, $5 helps, but also just sharing, using, leveraging the internet for good, because we have so much negative talk about the internet, but it's not going away. It's here to stay. It's in our lives. I don't want to give it back. You don't want to give it back. This is it. Sharing the information online to that vast audience is doing so much good. Susie, what can I say to you? I mean, you are just a warrior woman. I'm proud and honored to know you. Roomredux.org is the website. We're going to do bigger and better for you. And also, if anybody is listening and has a business, anything to do with any kind of bedrooms, linens, baskets, decor, furniture, the list is endless. We need you to step up, because like I said earlier, I truly believe that 2024, it's a different environment, and everybody can and must step in to create change. So Susie Vybiral, Room Redux, you are such a warrior woman. I am honored. Let us speak again, and soon. We cannot wait 2 years to speak again, and good luck with everything. And thank you for taking the time today to explain. And again, we'll share everything, all the information in the body of the video. What do you have to say, Susie, on your way out, warrior sister?
I say peace out, and thank you, Lynn. I'm so glad to be here. And nope, we will definitely not be 2 years down the road talking again. And thank everyone. Thanks to everyone for listening and for wanting to transform children's lives and make a difference in this world. We need to come together and do that as soon as possible.
and
immediately.
come together as in yesterday. Thanks,
Absolutely.
Susie. We will definitely speak again soon.
Great. Thanks, Lynn.
Take care.